Morning. So I hope everyone's doing well. For the do now, how do you think a company determines when to start producing one good over another? Explain. So we talked about the cost benefit analysis the other day. You could have talked anything about that, about pros and cons, opportunity costs, trade-offs, anything along those lines would have been a good answer there. So the objectives for today: interpret a production possibilities curve, explain how production possibility curves show efficiency, growth, and cost, explain why a country's production possibilities depend on its resources and technology. Those are what we're going to cover today. So, introduction. How does a nation decide what and how to produce? To decide what and how to produce, economists use a tool known as production possibility curves. This is what we're going to talk about today. I hope you guys are a fan of graphs because you'll be looking at graphs for the next 2 to 3 days. So if you're not, think. But yeah, so what we're going to do is look at this graph and we're going to determine um, basically the trade-off of producing one thing over another. Okay. So production possibilities, economists often use graphs to analyze, like we talked about, trade-offs. Production possibility curve is a graph that shows alternative ways to use an economy's productive resources. So, like I said, we're going to have to determine how we're going to use our resources, what we're going to produce, how much of it we're going to produce, and what we're giving up when we produce it. So that's what this production possibility curve is going to do. All right, so we have this production possibilities frontier. What this production possibilities frontier does is it is the curve where we are producing at maximum efficiency. What that means is that we are producing as much as we possibly can. We're using our resources the best possible way, and we're producing as much as possible with those limited resources. Okay, so if we are producing corn and corn and wheat. All right. If we produce this much corn, we can only produce this much wheat with the resources that we have. So we're just going to use this production possibility frontier to figure out what's the maximum we can make using all the resources the most efficiently we possibly can. Okay. So like I talked about with efficiency, when we are working on the production possibilities frontier curve, that means we're doing everything we can. We're producing as much as possible. Okay, so we're using our technology as best as possible. We're using our labor as best as possible. We're using our capital as best as possible. Okay, we're using everything we can. We're using our land best as possible. The three factors of production we talked about. So it's important that we're doing all of that. We don't want to underutilize. Okay, that was a vocabulary word, underutilization. We're not using everything as efficiently as possible. All right, kind of underutilization. I want you to think about McDonald's. We talked about McDonald's. Well, we haven't in microeconomics, but I've talked about McDonald's before. How the milkshake ice cream machine, how that's always broken. All right, that's underutilization. All right, they have a resource that they're not using. Okay, so when we're working on the production possibility frontier, we are working to our maximum. Okay, so that's what the curve will look like. All right, it illustrates the trade-offs facing an economy producing two goods. So as we can see here, we got dum-dums on the bottom. On the bottom here, we got smarties on the left. All right, so with our resources, with our everything we got, okay, we can make, as you can see here, 50 Smarties, but that means we would make no dum-dums at point A, right? Everyone sees that, yeah? Because that's at maximum capacity. At our maximum, we're using our resources the best. This is what the front PPF, as I'll call it, is right there, okay? At that level, all right, that maximum capacity, we can make 50 Smarties, but we can't make any dum-dums. Alright, then you go to point B. Alright, so we decided with our resources, we can make 40 Smarties, and we can make 50 dum-dums. Alright, so we lost 10 Smarties, but we were able to produce 50 dum-dums. Alright, so that's what that would be our trade-off. That's what we're going to have to give up. That would be our opportunity cost. Alright, our next best option would it be smarter for us just to make 10 more Smarties so that, we can make and lose all of our dum-dums or whatever. Okay, I realize this is a weird example, but this is what we're given here. Okay, for point C. Alright, so we've decided to make more dum-dums. We're at 70 dum-dums. Alright, and we only got 20 Smarties. Alright, so as you see, as we go down this production possibility frontier, okay, as you see the curve, okay, we're going to produce less Smarties, but we're going to be able to produce more dum-dums, okay? And then obviously you get to point B here. At maximum capacity, we can make 75 dum-dums, but we're making no Smarties. So, as you see there, with all of our resources, there's going to be trade-offs. We're going to have to give things up. We're not going to be able to produce everything to the max. Okay, we're going to have to decide what is more important to us, and a number of factors as we'll go throughout the lessons will have to play into that decision. All right, what does the market want? What is the demand? Okay, what is the price? What is our margin on everything? All that kind of stuff. Okay, so what is this chart saying about points A, B, and C? All right, so we kind of just talked about that. I want you to kind of figure that out on your own. All right, I want you to answer that in the questions that will be provided as well.